So my dad came here to America when he was applying for graduate schools, and he went to Carnegie Mellon, which is in Pennsylvania.
My mom and my dad are the first people in my family to come to America. They'd already become doctors in China, but they wanted to come here so that they could have a better life.
My dad was actually in a company that was based in Ohio, and so we moved to Akron, Ohio.
My brother first came to America, and he really liked the school system here. And while he was alone, I was really inspired by his independence and his ability to really just blend in right there. So I decided to come to US too.
My mom was born in Korea, and she was more of an artist than kind of an academic student. And when she was 18, she realized that being an artist wasn't going to get her anywhere in Korea because it was looked down on. She was looked down on because of it. So she and her family moved to New York.
My mom came here first to attend school at Harvard and Tufts Dental School. And then my dad, who was in Australia doing work, came after to be with my mom.
My dad was the first one to come to the United States. He came as a Vietnamese war refugee, and then he went back to Vietnam to marry my mom. And my mom and I moved here when I was 2 years old.
And for him, it was a big transition coming from India, where it's warm almost all year round, to coming to a very cold place.
They came here penniless and broke, but did their own hard work. They re-went through medical school because the medical degree that they got in China didn't count here, so they had to redo it.
My dad got his PhD at Akron University for engineering, and my mom went to dental school at Case Western.
We stayed with one of my dad's friends in Lawrence before my dad gathered enough money to buy a laundromat in Lynn, and we worked the laundromat for a couple of years while my mom was getting her nail certificate.
He went to a boarding school, I went to Meadowbrook, and it was a very friendly environment there.
My grandma and her mom opened kind of like a novelty New York shop, and my mom went to Pratt Institute, which is an art school.
They came with barely anything because they were escaping the Cultural Revolution back in China. And so they had very little money. My mom always tells me that they only had $100.
Clothing and just money, for example, were such a big change for him, and not being able to be in contact with his family.
It was really hard to leave all our family in Vietnam. It was hard to think that people you grew up with you weren't going to see for a really long time.
And she also had to learn English, which she doesn't really talk about as being difficult, but it definitely wasn't easy.
Both of them weren't very good at speaking English, so I know that one of their toughest problems was communication with teachers, fellow students.
Learning English was really hard. I only spoke to my parents and the other Vietnamese people my family knew.
For the first week they were here, they ate nothing but ice cream just because it was cheap.
My dad had this red Honda Civic that was really being down, but that's how he started.
She moved to Boston when she met my dad, and in Boston they started a computer business that they ran together.
Exciting news is that I was accepted into Nobles as an international student, but I got my green card on December 2013, so I'm an official resident of the United States now.
Yeah. And I guess I'm pretty thankful that he did come here.